By now, you should have practiced several techniques to help you revise and consolidate your knowledge effectively. But how do you know if you really know your stuff? Testing yourself works because you have to make an effort to pull information from your memory, something we don't do when we simply review our notes or reread the textbook. Retrieval is a really important part of the learning process, but it's also important to ensure that you space out your learning and testing, rather than cramming and testing all at once. This is called distributed practice, and the more that you revise, test, the better your retrieval will be. This is called memory consolidation. As you revisit information over time, the memory becomes more stable and less easily disrupted. I'm going to share a few tips with you to help you to test yourself effectively at home. The first top tip I'm going to share with you is never test yourself immediately after you study. You will grossly overestimate how well you know the information if you test yourself right away. Even better is to get some sleep between your study sessions. In fact, studies have shown that if you sleep between 2 study sessions, you'll remember far more than if you studied in one long session. You've got to plan ahead and schedule separate times for studying and testing each topic. When creating tests to complete at home, it's easy to fall into the trap of asking yourself simple questions that have just one-word answers. Whilst it is important to remember keywords, important people and facts, you are far more likely to be asked questions that require fully developed answers when you're completing a formal assessment or exam. One of my favourite ways to test knowledge is to produce flashcards. If you take a look at our revision skills workshop, we will discuss the best ways to create effective flashcards after you revise a topic. These flashcards can be a really effective way of testing your recall of a particular topic if you ensure that you write a question on one side of the card and the answer or possible answers on the reverse. As you go through your cards, make one pile for the questions you knew the answers to and one for the ones that you were unsure of. This is the pile that requires further work. Perhaps you need to try a different technique when going back to study this topic again. My next top tip is to revisit some of the techniques you have used to revise a topic when you come to test yourself. Techniques like elaborative interrogation can be used just as effectively to test your knowledge. Write the same why question in the middle of your page, and then see how many explanations you can recall without referring back to your notes. If you can't remember the facts that you recorded on your sheet previously, it may be a sign that you need to revisit that topic. Another great tip is to revise with a friend and create tests for each other. When you write a test for yourself, you will obviously include the information that you know or have revised. What if there is something important that you've missed? Ask a friend to create a test for you on a particular topic. They may ask you questions that you've never even considered when revising the topic first time round. This will check whether or not you've revised the topic thoroughly and will help to identify any gaps in your knowledge. By creating and marking the test for your friend, you will also be retrieving and consolidating your own knowledge. It's a win-win. Remember, you can always speak to your teachers or access your exam board's websites if you would like copies of past papers to help you when creating your tests. Finally, don't worry if sometimes it feels as though the information is just not sinking in. Even when you get things wrong, you are still learning and building the connections in your brain that will make perfect retrieval possible in the end.